Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Will the Reaper channel. Let's get down to ranking all the Five Nights at Freddy's games. We're going to do it in order here. So there's, I think, 10 of them. Let's just get right down to it. First game is FNAF 1. I'm going to have to give an A tier. It's the original. Super amazing, super incredible for what the game was. It's almost been 10 years now, which is remarkable. The design, the gameplay was so unique. You had like Slenderman and stuff like that, but regarding the horror genre, the indie horror genre, Five Nights at Freddy's was just a whole other experience. So that's gonna get an A tier. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Okay. I think this game is the most nostalgic in my opinion. Super nostalgic, brings back great memories, but the game itself, I'm not like a really big fan of. Like, I love the lore, right? I love the animatronics. I think they're really cool, but the gameplay itself isn't like the most entertaining thing. It's not really like scary. It's not really like unique. The only thing really unique is just like the mask and the music box, which are pretty cool mechanics, but I don't know, it could be just like difficult and sometimes boring at times. Um, but yeah, this is my opinion. So Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is going to get a B tier. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I'm also going to have to give a B tier. Well, yeah, yeah. Listen, I love Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Um, it's definitely up there for me. In terms of how much I enjoyed the game, but in how the game is itself, I mean, like, you just have Springtrap to worry about, and the Phantom animatronics, like, they can be annoying and stuff, but, like, there's really no substance to it, I do love the lore, and Springtrap is undoubtedly, like, the best character in the entire series, or at least one of them, so you have that, but in terms of the actual game, it's got to be, like, a B tier, not real much to it. Okay, here we have our first S tier. I absolutely love FNAF 4. The designs of the animatronics are phenomenal. I mean, if you think about it, right, it's basically Five Nights at Freddy's 1, except with a few twists to it, right? But the thing that makes the game so unique is how you need to use sound, right? So FNAF 1, it's basically you can really only use your sight, unless you're like hearing Freddy move around or something like that, right? Or like people walking around. But FNAF 4, like, you barely use your sight. You only use your sight to look at the Freddles on the bed disappearing. And if you hear an animatron coming towards you, you can shine the light and then, you can see them walking back. But if the animatronics are right at your door, you can only use your hearing. You can only use sound, or else you get jump scared. And so I think that's really unique. I absolutely love FNAF 4. Super terrifying. The game never ceases to scare me because I'm a lot more sound oriented when it comes to getting scared than visuals, and it's just like, you're listening, your attention's getting grabbed, and boom, like, you get jump scared. So I think it's really unique. They have Fredbear, which awesome design. First boss fight ever introduced. I guess you want to call it first, like, boss mode introduced in FNAF 4. A lot of fun, lots of challenges. I love the fun with Plush Trap mini game. I think that's really cool. Fun with Balloon Boy, but the challenges are super challenging. I haven't beaten all of them yet. Probably release a video about it later on, but months from now. But yeah, a lot of challenges, a lot of fun, very scary. Does what it FNAF 4 does what a FNAF game should do. Be fun, be scary. Does all that. It's exciting. But yeah, like, listen, FNAF 1 is just as fun, but FNAF 4 is just a whole other experience. You are shaken to your core when you play that game. Anyway, enough about FNAF 4. Okay, FNAF World, very controversial opinion. I love FNAF World. I think it's a really great game. Lore wise, they have a bit of lore and stuff, but if I'm going off of just the gameplay in general, right, it's not the gut wrenching horror genre that, we're all expecting, but, for the actual gameplay itself, I find it a lot of fun. I find, like, the music, the visuals to be, like, cute and, whatever, but, like, the gameplay itself, I really enjoy having to find all the new animatronics. Right, when you beat the game and now you have to go into like hard mode or whatever, you find out you can go into the graveyard and get all the really really overpowering animatronics. Like I find all that to be fun. I find the fights to be fun. The grind, I find that a lot. I find the grind to be very fun. So yeah, FNAF World I absolutely love. So I have to give that an A tier, not an S tier, but an A tier for sure. Okay, sister location, I'm gonna also put A tier. It's super unique. Like probably the most unique one out of everything. Well, I mean, FNAF World is just something different entirely. But I mean, like an actual FNAF game, Sister Location is undoubtedly the most unique. It's like a fairly short game if you think about it. I mean, honestly, all the FNAF games are pretty short, but each night brings a unique challenge. Some of them are extremely difficult. For example, FNAF 4 is like one of the most difficult nights in the entire series. They actually had to nerf that. Scott Cawthon had to nerf Night 4 because it ended up being so difficult for so many players. But yeah, the Ennard boss fight. I also love Ennard. Like top three best characters of all time. I love the design. I love the lore of the entire game. Custom nights are extremely challenging. It's super difficult if you have to be all like 8 nights. I'm pretty sure. Apparently, though, someone I forgot who he is, but it's a guy that reviews FNAF constantly. He apparently said that Sister Location is like the only game where the custom nights are all skill based. If you do every single thing correctly and you have the skill to do so, there is not an ounce of luck in like brought into the custom night. So I think that's pretty cool. But the only problem is that the skill part of Sister Location's custom nights are pretty difficult. But yeah, super unique. Love the lore. Love the designs. Pretty scary. Pretty difficult. It does, great storytelling. Does what it does. A tier. Okay, Pizza Simulator. Um, I'm probably gonna have to give probably a C tier. Oh no, sorry, that's a B tier. My bad. Um, hmm, yeah, I'll probably have to give C tier. Listen, I think the mini games are awesome. I think everything is super unique. I love the storytelling. I love like the scrap designs. They butchered Springtrap, so Scrap Trap is pretty garbage. That's just a massive thing to take into consideration there when ranking this game. But gameplay itself, like it's fun doing the mini games and stuff, like the actual tycoon simulators. Like I love doing like the idle games, the tycoon simulators. But this one was also just as fun. But like when it comes down to the actual night, I like how you could buy equipment to make the nights go faster. But I don't know if it's just because I suck or not. But I don't understand how to beat the nights. Like for me, it's very difficult. At like night 3, if you have like 2 animatronics, it's over. And their movements are completely random. I mean, obviously all the movements in all the FNAF games are random, but it's like, with like FNAF 2, for example, right? You can hear when they're going into the vents, right? You can, expect when they're in the vents because you can literally look into the vents or into the hallway and, act accordingly on the screen where you can see where the motion's going, sometimes it won't show any motion at all, which makes sense that they're sitting in there, but there's really no way to tell if an animatronic is right next to you if they're moving or not, because the second they move, they're going to jump scare you. So it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of annoying the gameplay. It's for me, like personally, it's difficult to beat the night. And that's something massive to take into consideration. And then you have like El Chip and like the new animatronics, like all those people. So you have like that, and they're like all right, whatever. I guess the designs, but Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy are obviously really good. But yeah, Sister Location is gonna get a C tier. Okay, Ultimate Custom Night. Now I can't bash this game, right? Because it does what it does, and it does it well. It is essentially a an ultimate custom night, like ultimate as in like the final custom night. Like if you can beat 50/20 mode, you've basically beaten the entire FNAF series, essentially. Because the story of it is that you're basically William Afton, right, purple guy, just getting put into endless cycles of death until eventually you overcome one of the cycles and Golden Freddy like haunts you still, even though there's nothing in his power to do so, but he still haunts you, which is pretty cool. But I mean, the gameplay itself, like, I don't really want to bash it, but I mean, it's a C tier. I mean, okay, listen, to beat even just one night with all AI set to one, it would take like an hour to get down, just to the sheer amount of memorization. Essentially, Ultimate Custom Night it's a challenge, and if you beat the challenge, it's great, but it takes a lot. You have to do your homework. You have to spend hours upon hours of gameplay to actually get anywhere close to like 53 mode or something like that. But I'm not going to put the game any lower because for those that really love FNAF and love a challenge, it's not like a horrible game, but it's not really a great game either. It's just a custom night over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, that's basically it. Help Wanted. Okay, I never played Help Wanted that much. I only really play it at my friend's house. But when I did play it, I thought it was extremely unique. I'm gonna have to give probably an S tier, to be honest. Help Wanted was just unbelievably unique, and I only played like maybe like 1/5 of the game. Like I really only did like the mini games and stuff. Where you have to like repair the vents with like mangle and ennard crawling inside those vents. But it was just super, super unique. And you have Glitch Trap, which adds lore and all that stuff like that. But the gameplay itself, it's scary because it's virtual reality. And it's scary, and the atmosphere is great because it's virtual reality, so you can look around. And the gameplay itself, like your heart starts pumping, your heart is racing when you play this game. In a sense, it's really awesome. So that's got to be an S tier. The only downside is that I probably would not spend like $200 on an Oculus or some virtual reality set just to play FNAF. Apparently, you can play it on your laptop or like computer or whatever. So I might actually just play it on my computer or whatever. But the virtual reality, how it's supposed to be played is S tier. Okay, this I've never played before. I think this is the workshop. I can't really judge this. So I'm just gonna do never played. Seems bad though. There we go. So obviously I've never played this. I don't even think this is a game. I'm pretty sure the workshop, you can just look at like cool FNAF designs. But if I played this, or like visited this or whatever, I probably put it in like D tier. But I can't say anything because I've never played it, so I can't really be biased about it. So that's basically it. And then lastly, Security Breach. Security Breach I've also never played, but I've seen people play it in its entirety. So I've seen every aspect of this game being played. Now I will put the Ruin DLC in. And because of the Ruin DLC, I'm putting it in B tier. Because the Ruin DLC was actually really cool. It was awesome watching people do the Ruin DLC, but like the Ruin DLC would get like an A tier, possibly even S tier, but Security Breach, it's no. The designs are like odd. I mean, okay, listen, the designs. Okay, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. The designs are great. I love the Rockstar characters. Like they look cool, but I don't know why they'd add Roxanne and Rockstar Chica and Rockstar Freddy and what the alligator or whatever. I wish they just kept it the original. I wish they put Bonnie and Foxy in there. That'd be so much better. Vanessa really isn't special regarding lore or anything like that. It is cool though. I will admit though. When Rockstar Freddy said he was Michael Afton, I'm pretty sure he said he's Michael Afton in the Ruin DLC. That was awesome. But again, I can't really do it much on the Ruin DLC. I have to talk about the actual game, but the gameplay itself, it looks fun. Again, it's free roam, so that's awesome. You know, that's essentially like our first free roam FNAF game. Um, well, I mean, Help Wanted, I think you can roam or whatever, but I mean, like Security Breach, like you can go anywhere at any time. So I think that's really cool. Like I remember back in like, wow, was it like 2015? I'm pretty sure. Crazy how time flies. I remember when there were rumors that FNAF 3 was going to be the first Five Nights at Freddy's free roam game, but look at where that went. Sorry, I'm just gonna delete these rows because there's no F tier FNAF game. Let's be honest. Each one of these games is like very good. I'd play any one of them, in an instant. But anyway, so what was I talking about? Yeah, I remember when FNAF 3 was gonna be the first FNAF free roam game, but we had to wait what, like 7 years now for Security Breach, and it did not live up to its expectations, but it's not a horrible game. It's not like super bad. But I'd put it in C tier, but the Ruined DLC redeemed itself, so it's getting a B tier. But yeah, so this is the quintessential FNAF game tier list. Again, this is all of my opinions, so feel free to judge me. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were. But if you truly enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.